Hello and welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining me, and a special thank you to every single one of you who has become a subscriber on Substack, on Patreon, or who has otherwise supported my work. I appreciate every single one of you. As I mentioned earlier, Britain is staring down the barrel of an economic crisis, and this time some say it could actually rival the chaos of the 1970s, believe it or not. The Sunday Telegraph, for example, leads with a stark warning. Senior economists fear that the UK could soon face a 1976-style debt crisis, potentially even requiring a bailout from the International Monetary Fund. It's not just speculation. One former member of the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee has warned that Britain's borrowing costs are now higher than Greece's. And unless the Chancellor changes course and does so quickly, an economic crash is certainly coming. The article doesn't mince words. Britain is staring impoverishment in the face. So how did we get here? That is a good question to begin with. UK government borrowing costs have ballooned. Yields on 30-year government bonds recently hit 5.7%, which is the highest since 1998.
I thank my honourable friend for that question. The Office of Budget Responsibility forecasts that debt is going to fall during the course of this Parliament, something that never happened under the Conservative government.
Some economists say that this is a red flag. They argue that confidence in Britain's fiscal credibility is eroding in global markets. And while the government has played down the fears, of course it would, no surprises there, the warnings are growing louder. For example, Kemi Badenoch, the Conservative Party leader, told the BBC that she's really worried the UK might need to go cap in hand to the IMF, the same way that Labour did in 1976 when the pound collapsed and Britain had to borrow nearly $4 billion just to stay afloat. She says that rising debt, stagnant growth, and increasing welfare spending have pushed Britain into a doom loop, and without a serious plan, the bond markets could soon lose patience. Not surprisingly, Chancellor Rachel Reeves isn't having any of it. Reeves pointed to the IMF endorsement of the UK's fiscal policy back in May as evidence that things are under control, which does appear to be a bit of a weak try to provide evidence of things being still okay. But the numbers are hard to ignore. Economist Andrew Sentence, for example, writing in The Sun, spoke of eerie parallels between Reeves and Denis Healey, the chancellor who was forced to go to the IMF in the 1970s. Sentence said that Britain may not ultimately call in the IMF, but he doesn't rule it out either. So while the political class trades punches over economic forecasts, the public is left wondering, is this just noise or is something truly broken in the British economy? So let's look at the numbers. The UK economy is sending mixed signals, and it's far from stable. In July, Chancellor Rachel Reeves called the latest GDP numbers, quote, disappointing. She wasn't wrong, but that's probably to put it mildly. The UK economy shrank by 0.1% in May, the second monthly drop in a row, and on top of that, many of the UK's key indicators aren't encouraging either. Inflation remains stubbornly high, officially at 3.6%,